Line number 6, say good morning to the independent member of the House of Assembly. You know who that is, fellow representing Mount Pearl Southlands, Paul Lane. Good morning, Paul. You're on the air.
Good morning, Paddy. How are you this morning?
I'm very well. Thanks for asking. How about you?
Oh, I'm just doing great, Paddy.
Good.
Paddy, before I get to my subject, which is a little good news, actually, I think it is anyway, I just want to take the opportunity just to join, I'm sure, with everybody in, just to say that the people in central Newfoundland, certainly on all of our minds, and that have been impacted by the storm, and hopefully now that apparently it seems that things are moving forward and the government has been involved, municipal affairs and so on, and hopefully in short order they'll restore those people's lives back to some normalcy, and we'll get everything taken care of. But we're certainly thinking of them.
Absolutely, I'm with you.
Absolutely. Paddy, there are so many things that I could talk about because there's so much going on in the media, but I did want to take this opportunity, I guess, with a little bit of a good news story. I had a call last week from a lady who I met a number of years ago when I was involved with municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador, and I was serving on Mount Pearl City Council. And of course, you know her, Jeanette Holman Price. Mm-hmm. And Jeanette, of course, as we know, started the Jessica campaign after the tragedy that her and her family went through, related to losing a child, in a vehicle accident.
Well, yeah, her daughter was dragged under the wheels of a snow removal truck in Montreal, which I think in 2005.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And as a result of that, of course, she started the Jessica campaign, which was to call for side guards to be placed on all trucks to prevent that type of thing from happening again. So anyway, Jeanette did call me, and very pleased to say with some really good news that Minister Mark Garneau, that he announced last week, I believe it was, or it might have been the week before, a task force now to look at actually making side guards mandatory for all vehicles on the national level. And this is going to, and this task force is actually between the U.S. and Canada, because one of the things that was actually, I guess, preventing it from happening on a national level, or one of the concerns, was the whole idea of cross-border trade. And if you made it mandatory, then, of course, we had vehicles coming over from the U.S., they wouldn't necessarily have side guards. But apparently this is now a number of states, I believe New York State, as a result of this initiative now, they have mandatory side guards, and a number of provinces in Canada do. And now with this task force, this joint U.S.-Canada task force, this is going to be happening across both countries. And I guess the thing that we should be proud of here in Newfoundland is that we were actually the very first province to embrace side guards here in Newfoundland, and it was actually the city of St. John's was the first municipality to step up to the plate and make it mandatory for all their vehicles, and that was very quickly followed by the city of Mount Pearl, and I believe Portugal Cove, St. Philip's was one of the early ones as well. And so, I think it's something that we should all be proud of. Certainly Jeanette has done yeoman service in making this a national, and now I guess you could say an international issue. And but it's nice to see that it was actually the people of Newfoundland and Labrador and the municipalities in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador that made this happen first, and we should be proud of that.
Well, we were one of the first on board, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Trying to remember now, I believe Trevor Taylor was the minister of the department at the time.
Correct.
When they made the first order of the side guards.
Yep.
So, I think it's been proven in many jurisdictions that it is absolutely increases safety for those that may be come in contact or around those trucks. So, when you take something devastating to your family, the loss of a child, I believe her son Pierre was also hurt in the accident, if I remember correctly, and you make something good out of it as a legacy, then she should absolutely be congratulated. If it's saving people's lives and reducing the risk of injury, good on her, no question.
Absolutely. And so I just want to commend her for all that she's done. As you said, you talk about taking lemons and making lemonade. I mean, she really did something extraordinary out of that tragedy. She made something very positive come from it. And like I said, the fact that we were the first on board here in Newfoundland, which is really not surprising, but to see that we did that, I think that's very positive for our province. Paddy, before I go, I just want to take an opportunity just to comment on Paul Davis, and just to say that, you know, I've known Paul a long time, long before politics, and I always found him to be, you know, a great guy, and I wish him all the best. He's certainly not stepping away from politics. I understand he'll still be the MHA for the Paradise Topsail district, but he is stepping down as leader, and, you know, we didn't see eye to eye on everything, nor, you know, and nor should you really. That's what democracy is all about, but it is a tough racket, and I do thank him for the time he did serve as Premier and leader of the official opposition.
Yeah, you know, and fair enough. Everyone who takes a crack at any level of politics, from municipal government all the way up through the federal racket, it's not an easy gig. People take pot shots at you at every single turn. Yep. Sometimes it's thankless, but when you make a difference, then listen, fair enough for people's time, effort, and a lot of people roll their eyes. We just take great pleasure, apparently, in ripping politicians apart. Yeah. But you know, it takes a certain kind of person to even want to do it, and we should indeed remember that they're not all bad people, and their driving motivation initially when they get involved is to do the best they can for the community. And I think, you know, Davis, over his tenure, there's going to be some baggage that he's going to have to answer for in the future, and that's once again part and parcel with elected office. Before I let you go, Paul, what you make of the way forward stuff yesterday?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Paddy, I guess I'm going to wait and see what comes of it. I like some of the things that I heard. The fact that they've now acknowledged that we do have a spending problem that has to be addressed. And you know, some of the things I heard were positive. But at the end of the day, at this point in time, it's all talk. And we've heard talk before with these consultations. I mean, when I was with the Liberals, I actually held a consultation myself in my district, you know, around the budget. And, of course, nothing that I heard at the consultation I held actually came to fruition. As a matter of fact, it was probably a complete 180. So, you know, I'll be convinced and be in a better position to speak on it when I see action as opposed to just talk. But certainly, I suppose you got to start somewhere, and I guess we'll wait and see what happens. I was disappointed, to be honest with you, that the way forward only included a select number of people. Granted, there was people that were invited. Because my first thought was, okay, this is just going to be a bunch of party supporters. But I was, when I did see the list, you know, to be fair, there were a number of Labour leaders and people there that certainly, who I would not consider to be, you know, party stalwarts by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, no, a couple of hardcore Tories.
To see that. Yep.
Hardcore Tories involved. I saw the list too.
Absolutely, and NDPers. So that was that was good, and I'm glad they did that. So to me, it seemed like it was done well, and I'm glad for that. But like I said, actions speak louder than words, and I guess the jury is out on what's going to happen until it actually happens.
Absolutely, and that's fair ball, Paul. I appreciate your time this morning, especially the commentary surrounding the side guard issue.
Yep, not a problem,
Thank you.
Paddy, and you have a great day.
Same to you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.